Welcome back, welcome back. If this is your first time here, this is Yu-Gi Smooth. I am really excited to have you guys. Time Thief is my favorite character as far as animation. The effect of stealing the opponent's top card on their deck. A lot of times you get key cards, so I love Time Thief. Now, I wanted to make the most competitive version of this, so when I'm playing in ranked, I could showcase a lot of good duels. I will not lie to you guys, the combo lines do take some time. There's a bunch of different routes you can go with it. This is going to be a combination of Raid Raptors and Phantom Knights with Time Thief. That was the most effective way I found to make it competitive to where I got more wins. I did probably 50 to 60 duels just to see like, hey, what's the best combination? What are the best combo lines? And yeah, I'm going to break that all down for you today. We're going to go through the different duels. We're going to talk through them. This one right here, obviously you see we went into our main combo, which is getting our regulator on the field, being able to resolve that, getting out our Time Thief Winder and our Time Thief Adjuster, bringing out our Raid Raptor XCs, getting Singing Lantis out on the field, comboing that off into our Link Monster Raid Raptor, which brings out our Mimicry. Mimicry is a card you never want to see in your hand. If you can help it, you always want to bring it out with that card. Then you're going to go into your Raid Raptor once again, because it's not a hard once per turn, it's soft, which is fantastic. That allows you to get out your rank up Magic Soul. Then with the Raid Raptor, you just do in the graveyard, you're going to bring out another Raid Raptor, the Strangle. You're going to go into your rank up Magic Soul. That's going to get you into your Cyber Dragon Trinity. Basically, it's just a free negate on the board, a free Omni Negate to help set it up. This is turn 2, so I'm going in attack mode. Generally, I'll go into defense mode, but you guys are going to see a bunch of different combo lines throughout this video. So we get out our other Raid Raptor by detaching the material. Phantom Knights, we're going to throw, usually you want to throw your Cloak in, unless you have it in your hand. Through Cloak in, get my Phantom Knights trap, which you can automatically activate the turn you have it, as long as you don't have a trap in the graveyard. Then you want to go into Time Thief Redoer with those two cards. So the 2000 defense, Raid Raptor card, and the trap. That way you have your card can't be targeted, and then you see they scoop. Before I finish up the combo, I destroy their card, they scoop. So we'll go into Duel 2. This is ABC Dragon Buster. Obviously had to look at the deck profiles on each of these players because some people scoop before I was able to finish them off. So this kind of show you. So this is the hand this time. I don't get the setup I like, but I do get Time Thief Adjuster. I throw Bezel into the graveyard, and I'm able to special summon the other one, go into Raid Raptor. So I'm going to show you, just in case you don't get the optimal hand, which is the regulator in your hand, this is another way you can do it. So Bezel allows me to get another monster on the board. Same thing, we get those two off. We go into our Raid Raptor Link Monster. We're going to bring out Mimicry. Alright, we're going to link those two off into our Raid Raptor. So you see we're still able to get to that combo, even though I wasn't able to do the ideal combo. So we're able to set it again. Same rank up Magic Soul you guys saw me use in the last duel. We're going to go back into it. This time I go with the Phantom's Knight counter trap card. So with that, it allows me to negate a muster effect, which gives me a little board. Actually, the third duel is the best setup that I did out of all the duels, I felt like. But we're going to keep going. So Phantom Knights, I throw the Cloak in. I get the trap. Then I go ahead and banish it. Then I get this time I get the rank up. So now I go into my Time Thief Redoer. And I stop. Because when I started off this combo, I had to use a card that only lets me go into Dark Monsters. So I couldn't go into my Cyber, like Cyber Trinity. This card allows me to take one of his cards that are weaker than mine and attach it to one of mine. Since his attack was weaker than mine, I was able to just attach his monster so he couldn't go into his combo play. And he tries to go into his Armed Dragon, but fortunately I got that Raid Raptors, which negates effects. So I stop that effect. I have one more negate on the board, which is my Time Thief, but he scoops before that time happens. So you'll see a trend here with this. It's like if you go turn 1 and you're able to get off your combo, you know, you're pretty much gonna win. It's not a a true back and forth like I really enjoy. I enjoy back and forths, honestly. That's a lot more fun for me. But I wanted to make a Time Thief deck for you guys, and this was the best deck I felt like that allowed me to go back and forth. Now, don't get me wrong, you're going to brick sometimes, even with this, and I tried to optimize it, and I played a bunch of duels to see which way goes first. You'll see that in this particular duel, you know, optimal hand went to the Time Thief Regulator. I was able to get out both of them. Get out my Atlantis, Time Bezel. You guys have seen this play. So I go into both of them. Alright, we're going to bring out our Raid Raptor. I do have an Ash in my hand, so just in case they went with a Max C. That's a great thing. That's the reason why we have Ash in here. We have Call by the Grave, and we also have Gamma as well, just to stop it. Now, if you have Gamma and Regulator and they activate an effect, you get Gamma out. That's incredible, because then you can go into your Synchro. That's like a free Synchro pretty much. So that's like the optimal hand. But anyway, so we're going to go into this. We got our Infinity out. That's the Omni Negate. Memory Cry, we banish that from the graveyard, then we're able to get another Ray Raptor. This Ray Raptor locks us in the dark, so you always want to activate that after you bring out your Infinity, because Infinity's light, so you can't bring it out. So we're going to go into our Phantom Knights link. This card cannot be used as a link monster, so that's something to be aware of as well. It's not something that you can use as a link. Alright, so we're going back into our Time Thief. Perfect. Alright, so now we bring out our, now we're locked into Dark. He allows you to bring it out a monster you have in your graveyard, level 4. That's also a Raid Raptor. I go into Time Thief Perpetua. This is the one I told you that this duel was the optimal setup. Like, this is the best setup out of all of them. And then obviously you have the right cards in your hand. This card I'm allowed to special summon because I detached one. So now I got the other Fog Knight to the graveyard, which is great. I go into IP Masquerena, which is awesome. This is going to allow me to go to Nightmare Unicorn. So now I have multiple negates on the field. I have the Effect Negate, I have the Spell and Trap Negate, I have the non-targeting return back to the deck negate with Time Thief, and now I also have Nightmare Unicorn as a negate, and I have Cyber Trinity as a negate. That's an Omni negate. So I mean, this is pretty much the best setup you can possibly have. He goes into Tom Tyrion. I know it's not going to be multiple turns. Have fun with that. Then he goes into Runick. After duel, I checked and confirmed it. His deck was pretty much just Runick and then floodgates, like skill drain, stuff like that. So I take his Runick, so he's not able to recover it at all. He tries to hit me with that, but obviously I have Omni Negates. So I get rid of that, which I'm sure is disappointing for him. He goes into Carter Demise. I ash it, and he scoops. He says, let me do it. I didn't let him do it. That was his name. Alright, Vanquish Soul. So, you see my hand. I go into Time Thief. Phantom Knights. This is a different way to kind of build it out again. So I want to show you guys, like I said, you're not always going to have the best setup. So but even if you don't, you can still go into it different ways. So Ray Raptor. I have another Time Thief, which allows me to get another monster. Perfect. So now I'm able to go into the same play, but just in a different way this time, as you guys can see. I got out Memory Cry. I'm going to put Memory Cry to the graveyard with this. This card allows me to detach a card from it, so I'm going to do the same exact thing. So we detach it, I bring out. Alright. Now in this one, you'll see that I'm not able to get the trap on the field like I told you to put onto my Time Thief, because obviously I had to use that earlier to get into the combo in the first place. So obviously it's been changed up a little bit again. So this time I go into Phantom Knights, the other rank up Phantom Knight spell, just because I was thinking, like, you know what, just in case I could do that on turn 2. So I can negate and then go into it, but I realized that I couldn't, because this is a light monster, so I couldn't utilize that for that. but no worries. So I remember that I can still go into my rank 4 here, which is going to be my time thief. Obviously everything's in defense mode. So I should have went into my trap on this one. My trap that stops monster effects. Because right now I only have, well, we got rid of that one. And he's trying to go into that. So I have one negate pretty much now. And then I have one that's like a non-targeting bounce back. That's all I have on the field. So I should have had my effect one on the field. This was actually Vanquish Soul, which I found out after. But I guess he didn't have anything. So then he tries to imper me, but I have the 2000 defense Raptor I told you about, which makes my card non-targetable. You can't target my card with any effects. So he tried to target my time thief, but he couldn't. And then I just go in for game. I try not to waste people's time. So let me go ahead and take you out so you can get to the next one. Way to be a good sport, Kaido. Alright, so this duel, I haven't actually played them a lot. I had to actually confirm his deck after the duel because he wasn't able to get out his combos like that. So this is the ideal setup. Like having Time Thief regular plus Gamma would be perfect. Because had he tried to like Ash me, oh, that would have been amazing. I would have been so excited. Because I would have got Gamma out, and then Gamma would have let me get into like my Berserker Synchro that I wanted to get into, plus everything else, which gave me another, you know, negate pretty much on the board. That would have been a crazy board. But unfortunately, he didn't have it. Alright, so we're going into our combo. You guys have seen this combo before, but I'm just going to go over it. So Raid Raptor, in my mind I'm like, okay, cool, everything's going good, no hand traps, just gonna be smooth. I will tell you that going second is hit or miss. I've won a lot more going first than second, just being honest. But even when I'm doing this combo, I'm like, man, this is a long combo, because I like quick combos. Like, I'm a big Layer of Darkness fan. I'm huge when it comes to like Toon decks. Like, I like really short combo lines where you just get into your certain plays and then that's it. But with this, it is a longer combo line to get into like a really competitive board when it comes to Time Thief. I tried to just go pure Time Thief on a couple of them with only Time Thief cards, and it was a wreck. It was not competitive. I will tell you that. So I said, okay, let me try to research and see what cards complement Time Thief well, and let's see what combo lines we can come up with it. And then when I researched, this is like pretty much the best that I could come up with out of everything that I did. So we're going into it again because I have a dark Xyz monster on the field. I can bring out my other one, so I get out my Time Thief Perpetual, which allows me to attach one of my Xyz monsters with a Time Thief card. So I get a magic card, I'm sorry, spell card. That's how you guys know I'm a boomer. A magic card. Alright, so he goes Call by the Grave to my Raid Raptor for some reason. I don't know why. I guess try to bait interaction for me, but I don't care about that, so have fun. Alright, I take the top card from his deck. And then I special summon my Time Thief Winder. I picked that because it allows me to get another card in my hand. I have Dark Ruler no more. I think I'm going to switch that to Forbidden Droplet instead. That way I can activate it on their turn, just in case I go first. So, you know, it has dual purpose. Alright, so I go ahead and negate their Pot of Prosperity. Then he goes into Harpy's Feather there. So I could have negated it, but instead I said, you know what, I'm just going to go into it. Now, I put Time Thief Flyback on Perpetual, where I should have put it on my Redoer, but oh well. So we go into our Arc Rebellion, and this is another misplay on my part. So here I should have had a space open to where I could have went into one of the arrows. That was my goal. That's the reason why I had to rank up, because if I did, my Rusty's effect is if an Xyz monster special summon to one of his own points, and I could destroy one card in his field, I could have destroyed his triple attack, his talent, before he even had a chance to use it. So, you know, that was a misplay on my part by not having the right space. So he tries to go into it, but I have one last negate, which allows me to put that back into my deck, which I do. And then he goes to a Monster Reborn, but he doesn't know that the Arc Medallion effect, the XYZ Dragon, doesn't allow any other monster to attack but it when you activate its effect. So he's not going to be able to attack, even though he thinks he is. I just like the fact that he kept fighting back. I respect it. Then he quit once he realized he couldn't attack. So we'll go into a Dark Magician duel. It's funny because this is Dark Magician, and right after this is Blue Eyes. I faced them back to back. So I thought that was kind of cool. Alright, so again, not the optimal setup, but hey. We're going to go into Time Thief. I'm going to go ahead and get my Time Thief Retrograde. This locks me in the dark, so I'm not going to be able to do the combo I would like to do. Plus, he has Max C on me and I can't stop it. So the best thing for me to do is to just go into that. I have one negate and hope that I get a trap in my hand. That's what the hope was here. Like, hopefully I get a trap, but he uses Soul Servant, so he's going to pick the card that I'm able to take this time. Which is like, you know, okay. He goes into Magician's Soul. Cool, cool. There's nothing I can do. Nothing I can do. And this is where you have to be like very strategic. You know, obviously I only have one negate. So what am I going to do with this one negate that I have? I decided to use the Magician's Soul. Take that. He goes in for attack, so instead I just banish myself. And it allows me to draw a card because I got rid of the spell card as well. So this is, I take the damage because this way I get my redo it back. And I knew I would survive that turn by doing it. So in his mind, he's like, yo, I'm in good position. He has 6 cards. He's good to go. I look at this and I immediately say, okay, I know exactly what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to link off to IP, only because I'm trying to get my Fog Knights to the graveyard. I mean, my Phantom Knights to the graveyard. Alright. So I go into the plays. But realistically, all I really want to do is just go into this. So I get rid of this. And the great thing about Time Thief Hack that a lot of people don't know is that it allows you to attack directly as well if you target it. So I target my card, and then I use this effect, which boosts me up to 8,500, and then I'm able to attack directly. So I am able to take him out. I'm sure he didn't expect that, so that was a good one. Shows you some of the utility. Alright, so again, I had to check the person's deck list to see exactly what they have. They were running Winged Dragon of Raw, and in this particular build, they actually had he wants with a hand trap, and like I said, you're always going to have Call by the Grave or Ash in your hand. So I'm actually going to probably put this up to 3 Ash Blossoms in this deck as opposed to just 2, just because I want to make sure that I'm opening up with that and with a Regulator possibly. So I'm able to go into my plays. He's actually going with, I'm trying to think of like which one. I think it's like an Ice Jade type build where you discard a water and you can special summon another water and he can go into his plays like that. But obviously, you know, it's hard to get over this board. Once this board is created, it's not very much you can do. I mean, you can try to hit it one duel in here. This guy tries to hit it with so many different things, and it's just like, you know, there's nothing you can do because there's so many negates. And that's the thing. It's like, I love, you know, Time Thief, don't get me wrong, but I gotta figure out, I'll probably try to look and see if there's other ways to play it outside of this, because this is just so dominating. I feel like it's not even fair to the other person. And don't get me wrong, I've played a lot of decks that I feel like are just super overly powered and you don't get a chance to play. So I get it, but it's just like, I've never really been on the other side of that. This one you'll see I went with the ranked up again, but that's just me kind of experimenting. I feel like I should have went with not this ranked up, not the one that gets the Trinity, but the other one that gets the Arc Dragon, or the 3,500 beast, which is like unaffected by anything, the Rave Raptor. Alright, so I go into my Phantom Knights, Mr. Rusty himself, that can't be used as link material, which is terrible. I feel like he should be able to be used. I go into that. Alright. So again, like I said, the trap and the 2000 the Raider's Wing. That's the best way to bring out your Time Thief Redoer, because now you automatically have the trap card and you can't be targeted. So it can't imperm you on turn 1. Alright, and then I go into Perpetua here. Now, if I had something else that I could bring out, that would be great, because then I can go into IP Masquerina. But I don't, so I just put Fog Knight on the ground and call it. Alright, so I get a magic card, spell card. Oh, I keep saying magic. I was going to special summon him, but he negated it. Called by the grave. No problem. I could have stopped that. Obviously, you guys know, but nah, I'm good. So he tries to go into his Ice Jade. I negate it. And he scoops. And he scoops. So that's how the turns usually go. Like, you stack your board and then you stop one of your plays and it kind of scoop with that. Alright, Blue Eyes. Mr. Sandman himself. Alright, so he goes into that. I was going to call by the grave it, but instead I ashed it just in case he had an ash as well. That way I can just call by the grave that. I wish that Time Thief Regulator was a quick effect. Oh my gosh, it would make it so much better. You know what I mean? Just because like Imperm crushes it. There's nothing I can do against Imperm. So if you get Imperm, that sucks. Unless you have like Time Thief Regulator in your hand, because then you can special summon that and still try to go into your plays. But it still sucks because then you really can't extend. So yeah, unless you have something else in your hand that detaches. So it's one of them things. But alright, so y'all see the play, we're going into it. Pretty much have the ideal setup. Anytime you get Regulator to go, you have the ideal setup. You're going to most likely win. I would say probably 90% of the time. I haven't ran a match where I successfully got Regulator effective resolve and I lost. Like, I don't remember one match like that. Every single match that I got Regulator to resolve, I've won. And I've been able to stack the entire board just off of Regulator resolving. So anyone who's playing Time Thief, never let Regulator resolve. You stop that by any means necessary. So again, Raider's Wing. I go into Rusty. Although I could have waited for this sooner, but alright, so you have your first negate on the field. First Omni negate, I'll say. Alright, with the Cloak, I go into my then I get the trap. So this is one of the times where I said I wish that I would have done, instead of the rank up, I should have went for the monster effect negate. But again, like I said, I'm kind of experimenting, so I want to see what's going to work best. Alright, Perpetua. Alright, and then I get rid of that so I can draw another card, see what I get. So now I have basically 2-3 negates, because I have Fog Blade too. So with Fog Blade, obviously I can stop at least one of their effects they try to activate. Alright, and then I bring out, and Time Thief Flyback is one of the ones that I'm debating on keeping. So he tries to hit me with a Regeki, so I go ahead and stop that first, because, you know, I can. And then he goes into his trade-in, and then I go ahead and stop that. And then he scoops. So I know you guys are kind of seeing the theme of like most of the duels are kind of like this. This duel I actually put in just because I thought it was funny. So it's Mathmech. I didn't know that until I checked it in, but it's just a funny duel because he ends up hurting himself. And that's what I think is the most hilarious. And once he realizes it, he just scoops. So he hits one to max C. I go into Regulator anyways, because I'm like, I gotta get out something. You know what I'm saying? And then I put Bezel to the graveyard, and then I add a card to my hand. And then he throws out Draw Unlocked. So no player, including himself, can add anything to his hand So I said, oh, that's perfect. Once I realized that's what he did, I said, oh, wow. Okay. So I'm about to just keep going into stuff then. All right, I bring him out. Bring him out. And then he just scoops because he realizes that he can't draw anymore. All right, Gate Guardian. So this is actually a really good duel. As far as, you know what I mean? Like, I'm always excited to play Gate Guardian. I just think it's dope. I don't feel like his deck construction was that good when I looked at it. I like some of the cards he played, but I felt like he could have played some different cards and he would have had a better chance in this particular duel. Like I said, I love seeing back and forth in duels. Like, I like where it's like you never really know, not when it's like a dominant board. And this is, like I said, I mean, I have to admit, this is a dominant board. It's very hard to get over the board. I haven't seen anyone do it. Like, so once it's like built to the, you know what I mean, the max, it's not many people I've seen. So it's kind of crazy. I guess if you hit it with like a Dark Ruler no more, but you can't activate monster effects. No, I could still stop that. Yeah, because I would just use one of my counter traps. Jeez, never mind. Maybe a Forbidden Droplet. Yeah, maybe a Forbidden Droplet. That was probably help. I guess I just haven't drawn it. But anyways, so we're going into the plays again. Raider's Wing. We detach. You always detach everything you can before obviously you link off. So, yep, go into my Cyber Dragon Infinity again. And Mimicry lets you get a Raid Raptor card, so you always want that in the graveyard so you can banish it and get your Raid Raptor card. I have my reliable Rusty coming out. Those are Phantom Knights to the graveyard. This time you see I go into the trap. That way I have that. Boom, I go into... Alright, I'm able to bring out another level 4. This time I go into Perpetual. Perpetual allows me to attach a magic card, so I'm able to use that to draw another card. So you see I still have like a full hand. Like a full hand and a full board. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm not used to this. I'm not used to this type of stuff because, like I said, most of my stuff are like one card combos, but not like combo lines, like long combo lines like this. It's like very quick. But this is like, you know, you got a lot of moving parts. So he tries to hit me with that. I go ahead and stop that because I don't want my cards turned face down. Then he tries to banish his level 7, so you can draw 2 cards. I go ahead and stop that. You're not drawing 2 cards today. And then he scoops. All right. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. This is a deck profile. So, you know, if you get Frame Driver in your hand, it's definitely a brick hand. Gamma is awesome. Like I told you guys, that's the ideal setup with Gamma and with Regulator. You put Regulator out. Once it goes to the graveyard, they try to ash it. Then you hit them with Gamma, and then you bring out the Synchro monster. I'll tell you the Berserker, because it gives you extra extra negate. You can banish one thing in there. One monster they bring out, they activate the effect. So now you have Time Thief Winder. Obviously you need 3 of. Regulator you need 3 of. That's a starter. Raider's Wing, gotta have it. Those are the 4 I recommend. And if you guys have, you know, I always say, if you guys have any ideas of other things that we can run or we can add to the deck to make it more effective, or things you just want me to try, comment below. Let me know what you think. I should try Dark Ruler or more. Like I said, I think I'm gonna switch that out for Forbidden Droplet if I run this again. Triple Tactics Talent is great, just because if they do something Regulator, I can draw 2 cards if I do have that in my hand as well. 2 Call by the Graves, mandatory. Time Thief Startup, I think 2 of is great in the deck. I like Rank Up Magic Force. It lets me go into some different plays. XYZ Import, I actually used it on one duel you saw, but it was effective in quite a few. Time Thief Flyback, I may keep it or may not. It's great because it allows you to attach a card to one of your Time Thief monsters, but at the same time, you can take a card from their graveyard and put it onto one of them once it's in a graveyard by banishing it. So that's like a dual effect. The Berserker I was telling you about that I can go into with Gamma, you got to have at least 2 Raid Raptors for the combos that run through. You you know, if everything just goes wrong, go into Bazooka. Time Thief Redoer, of course. Time Thief Perpetua. Raider's not I like because you really didn't see in the duel too much, but basically I can go into that and then rank up into my my Arc Dragon that you saw, the Ray Raptor. I actually went into him once and it was pretty awesome. Basically I banished 6 cards from my graveyard and then brought him out. IP Masquerena, Unicorn, and Rusty.